anyone else feel just a little bit weird, maybe just analysing everything that's going on now, considering the incredibly emotional last few days after Jurgen Klopp's announcement on just Friday? It feels like just a couple of hours ago that we were all processing, and some people probably are still processing. In fact, I know some people still are. They're still leaving comments below my last video. So it feels a little weird to then look at Anfield and go, there are only so many of this left. There's only a little while where we get to cheer this guy on and put all of our energy into this specific team, and there's not going to be question marks over the squad, or there's not going to be question marks over who sticks around, who goes, what kind of player is going to fit into this new manager's system. There's going to be so much speculation over the next couple of months. It feels like a goodbye tour already, even though maybe we don't want to craft it that way, and there's going to be loads of people who we've got loads of other narratives for Liverpool. That's at least what I'm seeing right now. So Norwich was kind of a good game to do it with. And again, you kind of feel like maybe it was a bit of an orchestrated thing under Jurgen Klopp. You know, do it before the Norwich game, a game that Liverpool should go out strong for, win, go through on, and, you know, overall, like, not struggle with. Sure, like, that's okay with me. But alongside that, there's a finite feeling to everything that's going on now at Anfield. And every time that the opposition score, every time that we score, every time that they walk out, everyone's going to be counting those down. Everyone's going to be going, oh, this is the last time that X will happen. This is the last time that will happen. Feels good in a way, but it also feels weird. And maybe I've had a couple of days to process it. Maybe we've all had a couple of days to process it. But if you look at the way this team played, didn't seem like they missed all that much of a step. And that's what I think is really important under Klopp. While everyone was saying, hey, this is going to make this team play extra hard, we're talking last dance material here, I think a lot of people also didn't think of the opposite way with this Liverpool side, or with any team that knows they're going to lose their manager. How many managers come out early when the team is on the up and go, by the way, I'm off? Very few. But also then, how many times would you then see players go, well, if he's going to leave, if this drops away, if this attitude changes or whatever it is, then what happens? You know, do we just see the team drop away? I don't think we will, but we never really assess that. On the on the same side of that coin, like, how do we see this Liverpool team playing? How have they really changed all that much? Have they really lost anything? Have they really gained anything? When we talk about managers leaving on the up, by the way, what is the up for the next manager? All of these are questions that we'll answer in coming videos. They didn't really lose a step against Norwich. It felt pretty straightforward. Norwich really played into Liverpool's hands pretty perfectly throughout the game. And David Wagner, who was, of course, Jurgen Klopp's best man and a Premier League manager just a couple of years ago, pretty much played Norwich how we thought they were going to play. They tried. They scored one incredible goal and one fairly fortunate but still good goal. And Liverpool just sort of went through them. Time after time after time. There is a real relentless feeling to this Liverpool side. So it's not really about analysis in this game. It's about looking at the youth and the other aspects of the setup that we can look at. Right back. I am in love with the fact that Conor Bradley just steps out in every game, got pretty much created all of Liverpool's second for that touch then for Nunes, then put into where Nunes always puts the ball, which is, by the way, the side netting. Rarely is it ever the back netting of the net. He just strides forward. Doesn't look all that unconfident. In fact, he looks actually confident. And there was a conversation in the Discord, which if you want to get in the Discord, you're more than welcome to. There's a conversation with some of the Patreons as well around what happens if you have a couple of people who can maybe step out at right back or left back or then into the centre of midfield and rotate out. Who marks who? Who's in which position? With an already confusing midfield for the opposition, what does that add for Liverpool? Well, it adds a serious amount of rotation. It adds untrackable players in that midfield because who is meant to be in what position at any one time? Szoboszlai is covering an area, but is he further down the field because someone like Conor Bradley is further back? Is Conor Bradley further down and then Szoboszlai covering that position? Really difficult to track all of these things. Obviously, Norwich won't be the very zenith of that against Liverpool, but against teams like Chelsea, that makes it difficult for them. What are we going to see? A Conor Bradley coming back in against a team like Chelsea, against the width of what Chelsea have? It's going to be interesting to see. Trent came out later in the game. We obviously see a couple of players stepping back out, trying to recover, trying to get minutes into these legs. But at the same time, 3 days from now, Liverpool play Chelsea. The likelihood is that Liverpool were just testing the fitness of a couple of these guys. But it still feels kind of weird to see a full midfield rotation. Connell starting at the 6 today for Liverpool, not McAllister, not like a Gravenberch or even a Szoboszlai. A young Liverpool player came out there and did a pretty good job of breaking up the opposition in Norwich. Whether he's going to be a long-term Liverpool player is a whole other conversation. We don't know that yet, but broadly, Klopp is just currently slotting different pieces into this system and watching Curtis Jones and Ryan Gravenberch alongside those guys, just being super supportive, being the infrastructure that a young McConnell would need. Same for Bradley. He's got Konate behind him, so every time he strides forward, it's like, wow, this is amazing. By the way, both of Liverpool's goals, did he have Konate behind him at that point? I think he did. Quansah was off the field at that point. Yeah, he's got Quansah, even then behind there. Like, someone else said to me, like, how often is Quansah going to be regarded as a first-team Liverpool player? Well, at the moment, he's definitely running it with those first-team Liverpool players without Matip in the side. Joe Gomez can pretty much play anywhere along that side's back line at the moment, which I absolutely love. And that's all playing into the adaptability of this front line in this game. Who stepped out for Liverpool? Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez, and Cody Gakpo. If you are an opposition and you're trying to train for Liverpool pre-game, you're going, okay, so if Núñez is in there and he might play in the middle or on the left. By the way, if I'll just look at his average position during this game, Darwin Núñez pretty much played it all along the front line. In fact, there is a particularly hot spot on the right side where you would have expected someone like Jota to play. But no, it's actually Bradley, who was pretty much playing the opposition's half pretty much for the whole game. Very rarely had to get a touch back there, because guess what? Konate and Quansah were back there. Van Dijk didn't even start this game. On the other side of that, you've then got Jota, who basically played as more like a kind of a 10/shadow striker in this game. And the same for someone like Cody Gakpo. I like to see the shadow striker type position that Liverpool are creating for a couple of players right now. Cody Gakpo very much out on the left, but the shadow area that Liverpool are currently getting a lot of players into is creating a lot of goals. It's meaning that defences are getting pulled out, it's creating space in behind, and Liverpool are just exploiting that time after time after time. Not only are Liverpool a long ball team, but they're also a team that can now win in the build-up. Not only are they a team that can be patient and play balls that you're not expecting in between the lines from the half spaces, they can also go out wide. They can also go inwards into someone like a Szoboszlai or a Gravenberch and just shoot from distance. Cody Gakpo's also got that in his locker as well. So does someone like Jota. So does so many Liverpool players. You don't know where they're going to twist you next. You don't know where the danger is coming from. This is Liverpool 4.0, 5.0, 6.0 at this point. And guess what? It's going to turn back to Liverpool 1.0 very soon under the next manager. I'm not going to talk about the next manager now, but I'm just interested to know what you guys think about how far this Liverpool system is going to go if Klopp is going to leave at the end of the season. It means he can bring out all the ideas that he might have between now and winning or trying to win whatever title it is. He has to just throw everything he has at this now. This isn't a, hey, we're growing for next season, which of course Liverpool will be thinking of, but it is, we are growing for the end of the season. This is that final last dance title push that Liverpool are going to be throwing themselves into. You can already see, by the way, there are a number of players out there who clearly feel like there's an end of an era type feeling to this team now. And, I said it in my Klopp video that I did on Friday. If you're one of those players and you know that Klopp is going, you know that there is only a finite amount of time that you have left now, you have to exploit that. You have to maximise that. You have to make sure that every game that you play from now until the end of the season for Liverpool is the absolute maximum. But that's also a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on a Van Dijk. There's a lot of pressure on an Alisson, who conceded 2 today. Really unusual for Liverpool to concede 2, let alone 2 against a championship team. We'll see what they do in the next rounds of the FA Cup. Pretty flat FA Cup draw, if we're being completely honest. Like, good to be where we're going to go and, what we've got to do, but flat. Again, kind of makeable to the final if you are Klopp. It's like, who in there is the real threat outside of City? I know that, every team deserves respect, but like, if you're looking at it, you're like, okay, we should be gunning for a final here. At least. Am I wrong? I feel like I'm not wrong. Yeah. Anyway, other impressive performances today include everyone who played right behind that front three, because they were all just getting into the box. Everyone who played in basically the support positions to a Jota and Núñez in the middle were basically just other superfluous strikers in there. At one point, Norwich had the ball and there were like 6 players in the Norwich half. They were that dominant. But up next is Chelsea. Start of the season, Liverpool didn't quite have this system in place. They didn't quite have the confidence in this kind of system. Sure, there were ideas and there were like shoots of what Liverpool were trying to do, with Mo Salah being in that like half space / kind of playing the facilitative role. And then on the other side of that, we knew that Liverpool's midfield shape was going to change, but this is like the actual realization of it now, If Liverpool don't go and do something impressive against Chelsea, who seem to be able to just grind draws out against Liverpool, and Poch is definitely that kind of manager who's capable of motivating and then, like exploding against Liverpool, I feel like people are going to begin to question, no matter whether Klopp is leaving or not, this Chelsea game followed by the Arsenal, there are so many games coming up where it's like, hey, how many questions are we going to answer in these games? These few games, I think we're going to get a really good idea of where the team is at in terms of title push, in terms of what it is that they're capable of achieving in reality. Because the Europa League isn't really a reality, the FA Cup isn't really a reality, and the League Cup has been a fugazi this season to Liverpool. No one's really challenged them to the degree where it's like, hey, we should be really, really worried we're going to go out here. So I'm interested to know where you think the rest of this season goes. Still feels a little numb to me over the whole Klopp thing. Anfield obviously paying its tribute. Everyone's got a Jurgen Klopp scarf at this point. I think I have one sitting in a drawer somewhere, so I'm going to go and find that. But how are you feeling? That's, I guess, what I want to know. I feel good now. I feel positive. But I know that's because I'm saving some of these emotions for the end of the season. There's so much speculation between now and the end of the season. Love those midfield shapes, by the way. How accomplished does Curtis Jones look? How good is it to have multiple midfielders who can just win the ball back, and there's always an option to pass to, there's always an option to get on the counter-attack. It could be any player, and it's like, cool, the ball is moving forward. It's kind of insane to see how on the front foot Liverpool have been in these last few games. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching the channel. Obviously, this is Lawrence McKenna on LFC. If you want to go over to the other channel, hit subscribe there. You're more than welcome to. We have a Discord, which we just sort of stream alongside the games. And we've got a Patreon too. If you want to support the work we're doing here, because the CPM is so up and down on YouTube, and it's just good to get involved and support the channel, buy us coffee or whatever it is once a month. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Appreciate you, and I'll see you again in a little while. Much love. Bye.